Hey everybody, what's going on, and welcome to Guns N' Roses Central. We got breaking news today. I think I'm pretty much the first place to report this. I didn't see any other websites reporting it yet. It did get first published on the MyGNR forum, so I want to thank Gibson for posting it on there. So the first single from Slash's upcoming record with Myles Kennedy and the Conspirators has been released. The song is called Driving Rain. I've put the link to it down below if you guys want to listen to the song. There's two links. One is on Spotify. The other one is on this new website called BitTube. So if you're having trouble listening to the Spotify link, just go to BitTube and you should be able to listen to it. And in addition to releasing the single, Slash did an interview, I think it was just with the record label, where he talked about the writing process. He talked about touring plans for the Conspirators, and it basically confirmed some of the rumors that we had heard before. So I've put the entire interview in the description box below. Now, I'm not going to go through the entire interview because some of it's just like, typical boilerplate stuff, but some of it is rather interesting. So here's what he had to say about getting the Conspirators back together. He said, "I always plan on getting back together with the Conspirators as soon as possible and continuing on what we started." Now, the press release goes through a lot of the songs and talks a bit about and gives you some idea of what these songs are going to sound like. And they also released a whole track list as well. So the album is going to feature 12 songs in total. Slash also talked about the meaning of the title. So he said it's a natural progression from World on Fire for sure. Slash said in the new album, I think it's a little more diverse. It's got a little more diversity. Some of the ideas are not really what I would consider predictable. At the same time, he adds the record is a bit more structured with songs that are shorter and more to the point than last time. Kennedy concurs. I don't know whether there's those sorts of epic journeys that we took on the last record, although there are songs that take you on a trip, and they mention a couple songs. I don't think a lot of the song names really mean anything until you guys actually listen to the song, until the actual record. Now, for Slash and the band, the moment has been unlike any other in the past. So the seeds of what would become Living in the Dream were first planted on the World on Fire tour when Slash began bringing in material for the band to work on at soundtracks. So he said, historically, the way we would write is that we'd be on the road and I'll have my guitar with me coming up with ideas, sitting in the hotel room or in the dressing room or even sometimes on the bus, Slash explains. When I have something, I'll bring it to soundcheck and I'll start jamming out with Frank, Todd, and Brent. Then Myles will start humming ideas into the recording apparatus on his telephone, and that's the nucleus of how the songs would start. He said, I can tell you that's the way it's happened for some of the early songs, like Lost Inside the Girl and Serve You Right, Kennedy says. We were touring Europe in 2015, and at soundcheck, Slash would start playing one of those riffs and everybody would jump in. I remember grabbing my phone and singing some ideas into it right then and there, just being really excited about those two tracks. And at that point were the pieces of a few other songs, including The Great Pretender and The One You Loved Is Gone. So we were definitely embarking on the songwriting process for a new album. Now, the song The One You Loved Is Gone, I wonder if that has anything to do with Slash's divorce. So the plan, according to Slash, was that we would finish up the World on Fire tour, take a little break, and then go right into pre-production and get started on a new record. Which, of course, is not exactly what happened. Guns N' Roses got back together and they went on a massive world tour. So Slash in the interview also gave some timelines of what he was doing when Guns N' Roses was off the road. So he basically said any work on a new Conspirators record was put on an indefinite hold. It wasn't until December of 2012, which is the month after Guns N' Roses got off the road in North America, that Slash and GNR were on a break. They returned to LA and resumed writing in earnest for the new Conspirators record. In addition to the songs that had already been worked on, he used his time at home to write a few new ones. Among them was a slinky new rocker called Slow Grind and a track that would become the album closer, Boulevard of Broken Hearts. Then in January of this year, Slash and the Conspirators finally came back together in a rehearsal space in LA to pick up where they'd left off years earlier. Slash said, I wouldn't even call that what we did rehearsals. It was really about getting back into shape after being apart for so long. But even as the band was finding its groove again, the new songs kept coming. So they had a couple other songs that they ended up coming with. And then Slash said, so according to Slash, and then we fell back into revisiting the old songs, polishing them up and getting the arrangements together. Then we rehearsed everything and jumped into the studio and started recording. So the Living the Dream sessions, which commenced in late March of this year, saw the band reunite with producer Michael Elvis Basket, who also worked on World on Fire. But while the producers stayed the same, the studio had changed this time, with Slash opting to move operations to his newly active recording facility called Snakepit Studios. So Slash said, at one point a couple of years ago, I bought a small residential property in LA and put together a rehearsal space in a studio, he explains. It has a 16-track digital board, and we did pretty much everything there except the drums. It was a very homey and cool and cozy spot. The environment there is definitely Slash, says Kennedy of Snakepit Studios. It's got a lot of things over the years I've come to equate with him. Dinosaurs, pinball machines, photos of guitar players like Rory Gallagher and Keith Richards on the wall. Stuff like that. It's very vibey hang. It was good for the creative process. So to demonstrate how good for the creative process it was, Kennedy points to the lyrics on one new song called Serve You Right, which he says is partially inspired in a painting hanging on the bathroom wall at Snakepit Studios. He said it's a picture of this kind of devilish nun. That's the only way I can describe it. It's actually a masturbating nun. Slash clarifies, then laughs. I've never talked to Miles about it, but the lyrics he came up with for that song, which are insanely suggestive for him, I knew were influenced by that picture. If you guys follow Slash on social media, you know he posts some really weird shit. So dinosaurs and devilish nuns aside, the sessions of Snakepit Studios went quick. Recording was completed in early May of this year, at which point the album was mixed and mastered, and then held as Slash headed back on the road for Guns N' Roses' European tour. That was definitely a weird feeling, Slash said. I've never done a record where I've had to wait 4 or 5 months for it to come out after we recorded it, he laughs. Now I understand what actors feel like when they finish shooting a movie. As it stands, the pause will be the last extended break for the Conspirators. For this foreseeable future, the band will be heading out in September for what will be the beginning of touring across the world. So this is where he talks about the touring plans. He said, we're going to be doing the US this fall, and then I'll be out with Guns N' Roses in November and December, Slash says, which is kind of funny because Guns N' Roses haven't announced any December dates yet. So Slash says, then we'll be getting together and going to Europe, and after that, it'll be South America and Australia, and we'll try to hit as many places as we can. So there were rumors that Slash and the Conspirators were going to play Poland in February of 2019, which sort of is confirmed by what Slash is saying. Slash went on to say, because as much as I enjoy the writing and recording process, when I'm creating music, it's always with the intent that it should be played in front of an audience. For me, that's always the end game. To get out there with a band and perform the music live, that's what I love the most. So you can say then Slash, in fact, is living the dream, and this is where he talks about the meaning behind the album name. But he said it's only it's really just a tongue-in-cheek kind of thing. He said, well, you know, the album is actually meant to be a sarcastic statement about the world we're living in at the moment, he explains. I never wax political on records, but it was just something that came to mind. This tongue-in-cheek thing directed at the social, political events across the globe, he said. He continued by saying, if you do take it in a literal sense, then yeah, making records and touring and getting up on stage every day and playing music with these guys, that is the essence of living the dream, and that's why I always dead set in getting back together with the band and continuing to do this. And I always knew it would happen because the Conspirator story is not over yet. So the track list was revealed. Now this is not the order of the track list, but there are going to be 12 tracks, and these are the name of the songs. So Call of the Wild, Read Between the Lines, Lost Inside the Girl, Serve You Right, The Great Pretender, Driving Rain, which is a new single. They also got My Antidote, Slow Grind, The One You Loved Is Gone, Boulevard of Broken Hearts, Mind Your Manners, and Living the Dream, which is the title track. So if you guys want to read the whole interview, I've linked to it down below in the description box. Thanks for watching, everybody. Let me know your thoughts on the song. I did listen to the single, and it sounded a bit different than what I would expect, you know, from a typical Miles and Slash record. But it didn't really do anything for me on the first listen. I'm always the kind of person that I have to listen to a song multiple times before it finally catches on with me. I thought it was okay, but the more I listened to it, the more I really wanted to hear new Guns N' Roses music. And I'd love to know what your guys' thoughts are on the song. So comment down below and let me know. And are you guys excited about a new Conspirators record with Slash? I'm just happy that he's being creative and going out and doing something, because maybe we will hear something from Axel DC in the very near future. So thanks for watching, guys. Have yourself a good day, and go to gnrcentral.com for the latest and greatest Guns N' Roses news. Take care.